Hello everyone and welcome back to Bandai Product and Figure Review. We got a really cool episode packed for you guys, and this is the first build review. So we're going to be doing the same kind of thing, looking at the box instruction manual, but we will be looking at the final product that has either been straight build or have been painted. So this is a work in progress for the channel, and these are kind of things to help expand. And yeah, so let's take a look at what one we're going to be looking at today, and that is going to be the 30-minute mission Provedel Type Rex number 1. This is, again, like I mentioned, part of the 30-minute series. And I tried building one of these in 30 minutes, and it is a challenge, especially if I wanted to panel line every little nook and cranny. But we're looking at this monstrosity of a kit. Let's take a look at the side of the box. You can see it has a great number of articulation and cool types of gimmicks. Let's take a look on the other side of the box, and we can see a cool front and back portion of that, and we can also see a size comparison. Let us actually take a look at the instruction manual to see what it takes to build this and actually look at the actual unit itself. Like always, I always love to take a look at the instruction manual. It gives us a really good understanding of what to expect out of this build. And again, this is in English as well, so anyone that's wanting to know the lore and backstory of these, which has a really unique and rich backstory, I might just do a kind of a sub-video project that talks about the history and lore of maybe the 30-minute missions, because it actually has a lore to it. So that is actually by far the most interesting thing. So as we can see, the cover shows the main unit, brief description both in English and in Japanese, and a section of the instruction manual that shows different types of customization and posability, especially in dramatic form with their illustrations here. So let's take a look at the instruction manual itself. As typical, this is a fairly good instruction manual. It gives us a runner sheet run through, so let's take a look at all that. As we can see, there are several runners here, and they give us a lovely labeling of each one. So this is a really good size kit with the amount of parts that is needed. And also it has a lovely decal sticker sheet where I can actually still use these for other kits too, because it gives us a white and yellow strips. And these are really interesting stickers that I will actually get into when we look at the model itself. Moving on over into the actual instruction portion. This is kind of impressive, where it actually tells you where each runner that you're going to need for the corresponding part. And this really helped me out, especially when you are trying to work with a lot of runners and trying to figure out what part needs to go where. So this does a very good job of explaining and showing which runners you're already going to need for each part to build the main body. Overall, this is looking like it is going to be a great instruction manual. The parts are fairly easy to build. This is a fairly large kit, so it didn't take me too long to build this. I did do a little extra features. This has like a waist unit, which is kind of like almost like a bike cockpit kind of thing, where you can actually put another unit inside. This is, when I was building this, when I came across this is amazing. This actually shows different units that you can buy and build along with their support units. and I already have quite a few of these. But yeah, they give us different lines from the actual mechs, and then their side characters for the 30-minute 30-minute mission characters. So these are looking fabulous, and I love how they give us a full color catalog within this model kit. So this is very impressive. It keeps going on where it shows us how to assemble everything, how all the parts are articulated, and how we can actually pose this, put the units involved in, combining it, and how it all connects all together. And this is where it gives us a cool little front, back, and sticker guide sheet for the weapons. So this is actually quite cool. And the thing is, it doesn't actually give you an actual explanation on where a lot of these decals go. They give you roughly where some of these go, but a lot of it is coming up with them on your own, and that gives you quite a bit of room to basically customize this to however you want. So there are some basic ones, but then when you start really going nitpicking, you'll have plenty of stickers. So even I've messed up on a few and had plenty left over. So let us actually take a look at the unit itself. So this is what the Provedel looks like fully combined. And as we can see, this is a fairly good size unit. And there's a lot to this unit. So let's take a look at kind of the articulation and all that. So it does have a blaster here, and the blaster can move up and down, kind of pivots a little bit. The waist joints, let's kind of take a look at the waist. It actually has a very interesting feature to it. Let me just lift the arm up a bit. If you can see, we actually have a kind of a lift kind of waist. So we can actually lift up into a upward position, because this is a support mech. So there's actually something that will actually go into this. So this is how we start getting into the kind of cool posabilities with this. So again, like you kind of saw, the arms are on a nice little ball joint. They can just pop and move around fairly well. The joints are fairly good for articulation. There are several good joints. The shoulder armor can pivot up and down. Same with the other side. Chest can, or I should say the waist unit has 360-degree rotational clearance. Forward and back is fairly good, especially with its kind of hydraulic lift. The actual cool thing is that with this unit, it actually has a hidden face. So if I can just pop this little bad boy off, you can see there's a face right here. And so that's actually pretty cool. And this actually has, for its hands, it's like a claw. So that's kind of interesting that it has like a claw feature right here. The joints on the side, they move fairly well. It doesn't have that great of articulation when it's in this form with kind of its backpack kind of thing. But overall, its joints are looking really nice. The build quality is fairly nice. The joints aren't really too stiff to move around. The only issue is when it comes to the tail. I've noticed with this, the tail has a tendency of popping off real easy. I don't know if this is like for a defense mechanism, if you go by biology standards, but I feel like it comes off really, really easily, but they all are held by like little rubber balls on here, and they just all kind of link together. It gives you great articulation, but I would be careful because they can easily just kind of pop off. So don't want to mess with it too much. Kind of get into the pose that you want, and you are good. the cool thing is it actually has a way of opening. So each one of the claws on the tail are articulated only in, you know, waka 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 kind of notion. But it doesn't have any like real bending or anything. That would have been kind of cool if it was multi-jointed, but it is, sadly, it is not. That would have been pretty cool. So now moving on to the part that actually kind of makes this a really cool, and this gives it its actual hallmark for its gimmick, and that is putting a unit in here. So you probably are wondering this part right here. There was many things that I thought of what this could look like when it was in a downward position. I'm not going to say anything about the designers on this, but this is going to be like a kind of like a motorcycle style thing where the unit, which I actually have a particular one right over here. So let me get this little bad boy kind of situated where he's going to be able to get in here. So I have another 30-minute mission, little dude. And what I mean by little dude, I literally mean little dude. You can see the size comparison with this compared to him. It is ginormous. So how we are going to be doing this is the guy is actually going to be sitting in like a cockpit kind of view on here. So let's take a look what he looks like inside. So to get him in here, we just raise that part up. There is a little peg for him, and we find on the bottom of him as well. And we can just, there's actually an easier way that the instructions actually tell us. And that is actually, this part actually supposed to come off. So we can, let's have his tail, keep him balanced there. So now, let's actually move him out of the way. And so this is where the bike portion of the unit is going to come in, kind of make it looks like a bike. So we have a lovely clear plastic with that, which is green. So, and we, like I said, there's a little peg here for our guy to actually sit on. So the lovely thing is the seat is adjustable. So we can actually move it back and forth, and you just apply our little soldier dude in the seat that we want. So we can do like that, hands here, bend his hands here, and there we go. So he is nicely sitting on here, ready to pilot the unit. So let's set him right here. There's still a few extra things that we need to do. This actually has a downward display hub on this, so we can actually I always have trouble trying to get this little guy. There we go. So as you can see, it actually has a downward HUD for the unit. So we can just apply him straight back into that. And then this is where the cool part is. We can have two little armor deflectors here. And now we can actually bend this down. And there we go. We actually have him piloting the mech. And that already looks really, really cool. So this is already a really phenomenal kit. This didn't take very long, and there is a lot of customizable possibilities that you can actually do. For instance, on the back, there is actually some little holes here where I could take a added backpack that I created out of the 30-minute mission add-on kits, and I can just literally just stick it right on there, and now it has a cute little booster to help it out. And again, I still have this piece where if I don't want to kind of have the face, I can just pop that right on there, and yeah, it looks really, really good. And there is actually a cool thing where you can actually see with all of that white trim is actual stickers. So those are really interesting, and they're actually very thin stickers. I almost say there's little to almost no silvering whatsoever when I'm applying them on here. The thing that I've noticed is that they can catch air bubbles. So when you're applying it onto the plastic, it kind of gives it like a watery kind of thing. Like you just have to smooth it out, get all those air bubbles. And it actually turns out really, really well once it's fully put together or fully put on here. As you can see, some of the shoulder armor here, it is actually fairly on there fairly nicely. So, but overall, this is a really good kit. I highly recommend getting this. There's actually another commander type that I have yet to get. It hasn't come out yet, and I'm thinking about getting it. And this can go with pretty much a cool thing. And this is 1/44 scale too, so this is almost the size of a 1/100 scale Gundam. So this thing is massive for a 1/44 scale robot. So again, the robot in here is 1/44 scale, and this thing is already ginormous. So this is definitely worth the money for it. This is a phenomenal kit. It does have its moments, but the lovely thing is it doesn't take very long to build these, and you could easily paint these as well. I did a lot of detail work with the tail to do just kind of a straight build with this. A lot of the stickers are actually from the unit itself, and they're actually holding on fairly well, actually. So I was actually quite impressed. So overall, this is a phenomenal kit, and I highly recommend anyone that's into the 30-minute missions to definitely pick up this monstrosity of a wonderful kit. And there is so much that you can actually do to make this thing super custom and more badass. Alrighty everyone, that's going to conclude this build review of the Provedel Rex Mark 1. I hope you liked this particular type of video. If I am going to try to do more videos that are going to be featuring pre-built model kits that I have made, and do overall build reviews just like how this video is. This is a way of getting more, possibly more content out there and having fun building these. My backlog is not getting any bigger. If you could see behind the camera, I have a mountain of models, not just these behind me, but also in front of me. So definitely look forward to more videos of this, and still take a look at some of my new unboxing videos. I managed to get some information about getting some more of the Gundam Universe model kits, so definitely, or action figures, so definitely look forward to those upcoming ones, because I'm going to try to see if I can snag the new set that just came out, so look forward to those unboxing videos. So until then, I will see you guys in the next video.